it's time. If you scroll down my page just a bit, you'll see a video where I built this happy terrarium. And this one was actually $20 at Target. This one was $20 at Walmart. It's important to sterilize the inside of your terrarium, so I've just got a little alcohol wipe. Well, it was an alcohol wipe. I'm gonna re-wet it because now it's dry. Ooh! This smells exactly like the doctor's office when I was a kid, going to get our flu shots, and I smell the rubbing alcohol and just instant anxiety. Not a fan. Okay, I think that's probably sufficient. Why is it so hard to get stickers off of things? Success. The three biggest components of your terrarium are going to be your drainage layer, the charcoal layer, and then your actual substrate. This is going to be a long day. I can tell. At least tomorrow's Friday. I have this bag of Rocky Boys. Pretty sure I got them from the dollar store. I have a sneaking suspicion that this is not going to be enough. Oh yeah, that's not going to be enough. Not to worry, we have more. First layer, done. We have mesh to separate the layers. Add a layer of charcoal. I don't really want to breathe that in. When you decide what type of soil you'd like to add for your plants in your terrarium, just the only thing to make sure is that it drains relatively well. I forgot I had my little metal scooper friend, so he's gonna help with our soil. This is like one of those cups that if I had to choose one thing to be stranded on an island with, I could boil water in it and also pour dirt with it. Oh, that's... Just while I'm thinking of it, this soil mix is pretty much 1 part regular potting soil to 1 part perlite. And this is how she's looking. We've got like, I don't know, 2 inches total from the bottom. And then there's a lot of room for growth up here, so that's really good. I did mist down the soil just a smidge before we start putting plants in, because dry soil is really hydrophobic and has a hard time getting started absorbing water. I don't know if it'll live or not, but this is a really sad little Birkin propagation I had from a while ago that just hasn't done much. It's got a new leaf coming out though, so we'll see. Yeah. And I've got my little Peperomia obtusifolia. I named her Carol. I am gonna cut Carol in half though. I know, I'm the worst. Oh no, Carol, why? There's a little creeping fig. It's got a lot of roots. Get him in there all nice and happy. And here's Peperomia Red Twister. I'm gonna put some cuttings of that in there too. Some really leggy giant string of baby tears, which is always fun to say. And I have an absolute army of string of baby tears in there. I'm gonna put in some of this umbrella liverwort from my other terrarium because it's kind of getting too tall for that situation. And here's some bits of moss that I literally just went and dug out of the yard. They're pretty good. And it wouldn't be complete without some spooky friends. There. And he's just going on the shelf right next to Spooky Ernie. Okay, bye! Hey fellow plant kids, it is once again that time, that spooky terrarium time. And we have the goodest of spooky boys here to help us. Also, I just cut this shirt because I never wear it because it was too long, and look how cool it is! Ah! Today we're actually going to be taking a different approach. So you'll need your container without a lid this time. And we're only going to be using 2 ingredients for the substrate. We're going to have some long fiber sphagnum moss, and of course we have our horticultural charcoal. And you might ask me, Jessica, are you just going to dump that right out of the bag into the terrarium without rinsing it? And my answer is yes, I like to live life on the edge. I'm just going to add my base layer of moistened sphagnum moss. Go ahead and set some rocks in there in the front. You want to make sure that you're picking out any like little sticks or twigs or I don't know, whatever kind of dead thing's been living in your moss. And here is how it is looking now. Has some little rocks and a little pile of moss. Figure out a way to get this little gravestone guy to stand up in here. It's totally not deep enough. And the little pumpkin boy. If I'm being really honest, I didn't consider the fact that our goodest spooky boy is quite large for this situation, but we're giving it a go anyway. And here it is with our spooky things in it. Not so bad. Quite good, I should say. A slightly sad little eyelash fern, but we're gonna put him in there and see how he does. Oops. Oh my god. They really put their heart and soul into planting this thing in that little pot. Right next to this pile of rocky boys. Next to the gravestone, because hopefully, I don't know, hopefully he doesn't die. The gravestone might be for the fern. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Just try to act like you know what you're doing. I got this cute little Polonia. Is that how you say that? I've never had one before. He's really cool. From a garden center the other day, and I'm just gonna tuck a little cutting in there and see how it does. Incense and myrrh. Murder. Dude, it's snow. I forgot I got this stuff. This is Baby's Angel's Tears. Oh, look at how cute it is. Little rocks in the front, little pumpkin friend. Our goodest boy. You're so spooky. Look at how spooky. Spooky songs with Jess coming to a empty coffee shop near you. Of course, you want to make sure to mist it down so it's not, you know, instantly crispy. So it at least has some time to think about being crispy before it is. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye. Welcome back, friends, to another terrarium time. This time featuring... Alright, let's do this! Oops. I spent an embarrassingly long time trying to open this without cutting it, so we're cutting it. How about I complain about not being able to get stickers off and everybody here tell me I can use a hairdryer? I know what I can do. I just choose not to. Starting with our bottom layer, as always, I have some black aquarium gravel because it's just what I have on hand. Ooh. Then of course you add your spooky mesh. Then you want to add in your horticultural charcoal. Of course I'm not going to rinse my charcoal because, again, we're living life on the edge here. This is me realizing that I probably should have been wearing my gloves because my hands are all covered in charcoal dust. And I have a lot of sphagnum moss right now, so I'm just going to use that again because I kind of like it. You could definitely use dirt for this part too. You definitely don't have to use moss. As a side note, if you wad up your sphagnum moss in your hand and you can squeeze it really hard and it's still dripping, it's not dry enough. You need to wring it out some more. That'll do. Today's menu items include this maidenhair fern. I have two different varieties of string of Baby's Angel's Tears. I'm not really sure which one I want to use quite yet. I'm going to stick some variegated creeping fig up in the front. And I have some very sad giant string of baby tears that were in this pot from before, so I'm going to put those in there too. And back again because I can't seem to stop myself from killing it. This is a very sad philodendron Birkin propagation I had from a long time ago that I'm going to put in there too. And then there's this thing. How convenient that this little chunk just went flying off. Whoa. Sad. 30% of the dirt is actually stuck to this plant. Very sad. I'm gonna go in with my very sad giant string of baby's tears that are currently dying in this little nursery pot. I don't know how this little Birkin isn't dead yet, honestly. I'm also gonna go ahead and tuck this guy in there. Again, I have no idea what this is. I think it's some type of peperomia. If you know, please drop a comment and let me know what it is. Here are some freshly murdered pieces of variegated creeping fig. You want to make sure you have at least 3 leaves on each cutting just to make sure it has enough energy and room to photosynthesize and form roots. And here's how it looks. It's got a lot of variety happening. Hopefully some of the plants get a little taller, but until then, 100% organic night owl elixir. See in the dark. I somehow doubt it, but it'll make a cute terrarium. Much easier than usual. This is the first time I get to use my new little potting mat on from Amazon again. Perfect. We're ready. First I gotta get this dinky little wrapper off here. Oh, I didn't make the noise. Uh-oh. I suppose you could, like, put each piece of rock in here by hand, but I just made a little funnel out of a paper bag. To help get my mesh in, I just have a chopstick from sushi yesterday, so boop. That'll do. I had to break up the charcoal a little bit because the pieces were, you know, bigger than the top of the bottle, so our next layer of mesh in there. I'm not just gonna plant them in sand. I'm gonna put a little bit of coco coir or sphagnum moss, preferably sphagnum moss over peat. Would all work just fine. There we are, much better. Mostly because I want to see if, you know, what'll happen. I'm gonna put a couple of little string of baby tears cuttings in there because they just thrive in neglected terrarium environments. Should be interesting since I don't have a particularly easy way to orient them in here. Oh, never mind, it's not too bad. I'm gonna put a cute little skull in there for added spookiness. I have no idea how I'm gonna get this to sit in a good way here. Just kind of propped him up with some moss. Super spooky. And actually I feel the urge to put some of these little bats in there, so I'm gonna do that too. And now we have a delightfully spooky little bottle of terrarium stuff. I was thinking about putting kits for this in my Etsy. I guess let me know if you'd be interested in something like that. Okay, thanks, bye!